Okay students, already we are well known to the polynomials. In that polynomial chapter, we have learned about what is the general form of a polynomial, what is a linear polynomial, quadratic polynomial, cubic polynomial. Already we are well known to this. If we see the general form of a polynomial, p of x is equals to a0 x power n plus a1 x power n minus 1 plus a2 x power n minus 2 plus and so on an. Okay, here a0 comma a1 comma a2 and so on an belongs to set of real numbers and a0 is not equals to 0. It is called a polynomial equation of nth degree. Here if we write the linear polynomial, the general form of a linear polynomial is ax plus b or ax plus a1x plus a2. If we write the general form of a quadratic polynomial, p of x is equals to a2x square, a1x square plus a2x plus a3 we are writing. Here in the first case a1 is not equal to 0, in the second case again a1 is not equal to 0. Alright. In the other words also we can express these two. P of x can be written as ax plus b also. Here also p of x can be written as ax square plus bx plus c also. Both are same. So linear polynomial, the general form of a linear polynomial is ax plus b. The general form of a quadratic polynomial is ax square plus bx plus c. And the general form of a cubic polynomial is ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d. This is the general form of a cubic polynomial. So here if we write like this, we will write nth degree polynomial also. Now we have to discuss about this quadratic polynomial. Already we have discussed about a quadratic polynomial. A quadratic polynomial will have two zeros. A quadratic polynomial will have two zeros, and we have discussed about the sum of the zeros, product of the zeros, and how to calculate the zeros of a given quadratic polynomial. Now here the topic is, if we take the given quadratic polynomial, p of x is equals to ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0 we are taking. Means we are converting the given polynomial into a polynomial equation. Given polynomial into a polynomial equation. Especially it is a quadratic polynomial. So by putting 0, this quadratic polynomial becomes quadratic equation. P of x is equals to 0 is called quadratic equation. Now here we will discuss about this quadratic equations. Quadratic equations. Here we have to discuss about quadratic equations. This is our chapter now. So the general form of a quadratic equation is ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0, where a is not equal to 0. What is the degree of a quadratic equation? Degree of a quadratic equation is 2. Degree of a quadratic equation is 2. We will see some examples for a quadratic equation. First example is 2x square plus x plus 1 is equals to 0. Yes, it is a quadratic equation. And one more, 2x power 1 by 2 plus 3x plus 1 equal to 0. Here it is not a quadratic equation because the power is not integer. So it is not a quadratic equation. In that way we can give many examples for quadratic equations. The general form is ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0. As the degree of the quadratic equation is 2, then the quadratic equation will have two roots. For the case of polynomial, we are calling the zeros. For the case of a polynomial, the value which satisfies or the value which gives 0, by substituting x is equals to, here we will take some value of x which gives it 0 value, then that value is called 0 of the polynomial. Here what value of x makes the given polynomial as 0, that value is called root of the quadratic equation. So we can use, the meaning is same, but we can use the word root for a quadratic equation. We can use the word 0 for a polynomial. That we have to know. The difference we have to know. So here ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0 is a quadratic polynomial or quadratic equation. This quadratic equation will have two zeros. And here also again same, the sum of the zeros or sum of the roots alpha plus beta equal to minus v by a, and product of the roots alpha beta is equals to c by a. That case is same. And how do you write the quadratic equation? quadratic equation is x square minus of alpha plus beta into x plus alpha beta equal to 0. Then in case of polynomial we cannot put 0. Here in case of quadratic equation we will put 0. Everything, the things what I am telling you, that's all we have learned in the chapter polynomial. What are the new things we are going to learn in the quadratic equation? Here we have to learn, the first point is we have to learn what is the general form of a quadratic equation we have learned. And next, where do we use the quadratic equations in our real life situations? In many cases we can use the quadratic equations, satellite dishes or in the form of lenses. In many cases we can use the quadratic equations. Next, we have to identify whether the given equations are quadratic equations or not. So that examples also we have seen. Now the next important thing is how to calculate the zeros of a given quadratic equation. To calculate the zeros of a given quadratic equation, we have three different methods. First method is factorizing the given quadratic equation. Second method is writing the formula. We have one formula to calculate the roots. That formula we can